Hello, today we are going to be doing a chicken dish, potatoes, cabbage, bacon, something quite cheeky, quite made up actually. And essentially it's chicken with cabbage and smoked bacon, which is in a sort of reduced chicken stock with potatoes, chewing the skins, baked, and then with some parmesan on, kind of gratin, that kind of thing. One important thing to remember is this is not sharpening the knife, this is just making sure the edge doesn't have any burrs on it. Actually sharpening the knife is a completely different thing, a different video. But this just makes sure that it's all ready and there's no burrs on the edge. You should really do this before and after using the knife, always. First things first, we've got a pan of water on. I'm going to add some salt onto that, bring that up to the boil. A key thing when cooking is have everything you need to hand, so you're not having to kind of get things out of cupboards and drawers and things like that. Have everything you can ready. Chopping board, very important, get it as big as you can. Knife, to be honest you only ever really need one knife. I'll talk about knives in a different video. All the pans you're going to need, ingredients, everything ready. I'm going to need boiling water, the kettle's already boiled, everything is basically to hand. The oven is on, the water's on. We're all in a good place. So what we're first going to do is get the potatoes cut, put them into the water to get them boiling so we can part boil them. If you want to use new potatoes or a small potato, perfectly fine. We're not looking for huge chunk. All we're looking something like this and kind of really in half. That's the kind of thing we're looking for. You're going to leave the skins on. If you've got new potatoes which are sort of half that size, don't even bother cutting them. So again, another video about cutting, but always keep your fingers out the way and make sure the knife is going down there. But basically just cut these in half. So all you want to do is cut them in half, and that's the kind of size you're looking for. Then what we'll do is we'll get them in the water to part boil. That will just help to soften them up a bit, and also will help, by having salt in the water, it will help to crisp them up once we put them in the oven. So once we've got them there now, very important thing, a very useful thing is whenever you're doing any cooking, always have bowls. You should put a couple of bowls there. Bowls to put stuff in, otherwise they're rolling about everywhere. Obviously I should have put the potatoes in the bowl to start with. What you really want to do, there's no rule, is either left to right, right to left, to have all your things in one bowl. And if you're peeling them, peel them into a bowl. You can then take the bowl to the bin, and that way it saves having mess everywhere and it keeps your chopping board nice and clean. So whenever you're doing any kind of cutting or there's going to be any kind of waste, get that in a bowl. Just going to get normal table salt, just a bit in there, and just basically get these in. Now you can just throw them in, but obviously bear in mind this is very hot water, so place them in as carefully as you can. Now whenever you're trying to bring liquids up to the boil on the hob, always put the lid on. It keeps the heat in, makes it come up quicker. So once it comes up to a simmer, I'll turn the heat down, simmer them for, because of the size of the potatoes, not an exact rule, 5, 10 minutes, doesn't matter. But as long as you can tell with a knife if they're soft. Once they're soft, we get them in the baking sheet. What we can do now is the chicken. Oh there, tray. What I'll do is I'm going to put all of the pieces of chicken that I'm going to portion off onto there, and any junk in there. Keeps it nice clean. Remember, as always with chicken, always wash your hands after, wash any surfaces, any implements after. Chicken. I'm not going to recommend buying chicken from anywhere specific. If you can get it from a butcher, wonderful, but supermarkets are equally as good these days. Try and get free range, try and get something that's organic if you can, depends on budget, etc. But the important thing is to get something that's, this may sound an obvious thing, but get something that's fresh. Now if it's got little bits of skin or stuff like that, don't worry about it. What we're going to do firstly is get this chicken out of this tray. I'm going to put this tray over here because it's just going to take up too much room. Now, chickens always, generally, will come with this string. So take this off. It's more of an elastic band. Get that off. Only because it just keeps it all together nice in the packet. Even if you're roasting the chicken, I wouldn't necessarily recommend keeping that on, because one, if you are roasting the chicken, you're going to want to get it open and get like the stuffing, or a simple roast is onions, lemon, herb seasoning inside, so you're going to have to open it up. But for the chicken, you've effectively got 8 portions or 8 pieces of chicken off of it. This way it makes it so much better and more economical to buy a whole chicken and portion it up yourself. Now, depending on if you like touching raw meat, that kind of thing, it's not the worst thing in the world, but from an economy point of view, you'll get much more value. So from a jointing perspective, what you want to do is take the legs, these are the legs, breasts, wings. So you've got the leg, as far as the leg, you've got the drumstick and you've got the thigh, obviously wings, breasts, and underneath, obviously the rest. Now it is amazingly simple to actually joint a chicken, and if you do buy a whole chicken and joint it, it's easily like a third of the price as what you would pay for buying everything individually. So it's certainly a lot better value, and you know what you're getting. You know, it's all come from the same chicken, it's all good. So, simple way to joint a chicken. Start with the legs facing you. I'm just trying to hold it up here. If you pull the legs out, you see this skin here. What you want to do is, whilst pulling that out, is just cut down that skin. Okay? That opens that out, okay? And you can get in there. You can even cut a bit more off. This is why obviously having a sharp knife is crucial. So once you've got that opened out, you can feel down here underneath where the joint is. Okay, so you can naturally feel the joint. Okay, so what you want to do is put your hand underneath, inside, and then just pull that, and you can hear it. You probably heard it there. Then with a knife, just work your way down, and where that gap naturally runs, you can just cut through that, and you're not actually sort of hacking through bone. There's a natural cut, as you can see, and all you're doing is working your way around through. So a little bit more skin. Done. There we have one chicken leg. We cut that down even further. Same on the other side. See the skin there? Cut through and down. Once you get you can feel it underneath. You just basically snap. The potatoes are now boiling. Once you feel that snap underneath, and it pops out, cut through. Just follow the joint along. Number 2. So, just going to wash the hands. So, now that's down, I'm just going to turn this down to a low simmer just for a couple of minutes. This is your friend in the kitchen, the timer. To let that bubble away. I'm using an induction hob, not my choice, but that's where I am at the moment. So often we don't get a situation, if you like cooking, you go, oh, I haven't got the cooker I want, you can still do it, you just get on with it. So basically I'm just going to add about 5 minutes on the timer. The reason I'm putting on the timer is, even though it's behind me, I'm doing this, I could easily forget, then you end up with basically potato soup. So back to the chicken. So here we go. The 2 legs are off. So now we turn it around, so we've got the wings. Same again. You can feel underneath, you can feel where the joint is, and then you just snap, and then cut in. There it is. And what you can do, you can just feel where the joint is, and then just cut around where the joint is. It's just there. So you can, as you feel it, you can just feel exactly where it is. So, knuckle. And nice little bit of skin underneath there. Okay, that's one chicken wing. And the other side, you can feel just where it is underneath, and then move and just cut in just underneath and round the second chicken wing. So now we have the two. So we kind of got the main body, as it were. So we've got the two chicken breasts. So the way to do these is have it this way, so it's basically, you can feel down the middle, you can feel the breastbone. So get your knife, feel where the breastbone, just go to the side of the breastbone and cut in. Feel. Okay, now with your knife, basically, just go follow down. Once you've got your knife in, then just with your fingers, you can feel down the edge of the bone and just kind of separate it. You're kind of using the tip of the knife, so basically coming in just very close to the bone, pulling down, and then once you've got that there, just to show you that, you're kind of coming in and you're using these fingers to pull away, and you're just kind of coming close to the bone all the way down. Just snip away that. Basically, you're just going all the way down. So once you get to there, you've then got the wishbone. So just go through the wishbone. Then at that point, the chicken breast is pretty much off. You basically just go down the bottom. And all you're doing is just using the edge of the knife just to push it away. And then all we've got there is basically one chicken breast, beautifully intact. There. The idea is to get as little, get as most meat off you can, leaving as little as possible. Same on this side. Again, turn it round. Find the top of the bone. Just go in. See where the bone goes. And just going down like that. Unless you're using your fingers, separate down. And all we're doing is we're just separating down all the way down. If you need to turn it around a bit, just working your way down. Okay, and then we have the second. It is enormous. This is it's a very large chicken, but this is an enormous chicken breast. And there you are, left with basically just the carcass. Now, this, boil this up with some veg, simmer it for an hour or so. You've got the most amazing stock. I'll put that in there for now. Just wash my hands. Few more minutes. So now we've got chicken stock there. So we've got these beautiful chicken breasts, chicken wings, and the chicken legs. Now these get broken down even further. So you can, if you want the leg, amazing, just whole thing. But if you want the drum and the thigh, I'm going to be wanting the thighs to go with the chicken breast today. Basically, you turn it over, feel it. You can feel the bone, and it goes down here, and you can actually feel there's a natural joint, which is where this, they join. So you've got basically, that's the thigh bone, as you can see there, that flexes. So over here, there's a natural joint. Okay, just you can feel it. So in there, all you're doing, you see where that gap is. Move your finger back and just going in with the knife. In there, and just cut through. There we have a drumstick and a chicken thigh. Same on this one. You feel down, see where the bone is. Feel where the movement is. It's about there. You can feel a natural groove. Go in. You get it right. That's there. So just have to and just cut down like that. That way you're not hacking through the bone. You might have to open it up a bit. Again, and another chicken thigh. So now we have got thigh, thigh, wing, wing, leg, leg, breast. 2, 4, 6, 8 portions, and really no waste on the chicken for a fraction of the cost of actually buying all of this separately. Today's recipe, I'm going to be using the chicken breasts and the chicken thighs. So potatoes essentially done. So I'm just going to turn those off. Here. Just scuff them up a little bit, just to rough them up. See there, it's just going to rough the edges up. Then, get that done, olive oil. Some sea salt. Bottle. Empty these in. Pepper. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put them in the oven, let them bake. Let's soften up. Once they've softened a lot, then what we use is a potato masher just to squish them down. So we've got the jackets, we're going to get the flavour of the skins and the soft potatoes, so squish them down to kind of make one big gratin kind of thing. Then we put some parmesan over the top, a bit more in the oven, and then that's basically done. We get that in the oven about 20 minutes or so. We're going to be doing chicken, basically in a white wine sauce, some herbs, simple dish, but with some cabbage, smoked bacon in some chicken stock. And even though I just said we can make some chicken stock with the carcass of the chicken, that's the best chicken stock to use, but there's nothing wrong with using cubes as long as you get something decent. So these are organic. So we want just one of these boiled. So just put one of these in. Try to get something without any monosodium glutamate or any kind of junk in there. But basically, we'll get something like this. Send about the bowl's over there now. Get a whisk, your hot water, and get it going. So it's about again, we're not looking at an exact science. I think it might say 500 mils on the packet. One important thing, try not to get hung up about measurements, timings, things like that. What we're trying to get you to is cook by feel, touch, taste. So essentially, we're just going to let this dissolve, like this. Put this over here, because that's going to be used to cook the cabbage in. So we're going to, firstly we're going to saute off the bacon and get that kind of nice caramelised flavour. Then we're going to put the cabbage in, saute that a little bit, and then add the chicken stock and reduce that down. So, like I said before, how always having bowls is when you chop things up, you've got things in a bowl. When you've got the rubbish, you put it there. It's much easier. So for this, there's actually going to be 5 people eating this. So really, half a cabbage is enough. Remember, the thing is, looking for sort of slices. But this kind of thing, so we get ribbons. Again, if you get it like that, you can then cut that even further. But this should naturally give us ribbons by cutting down here. Now you've got the centre here. This one's not too bad, but because I'm going at an angle. If you kind of go at an angle, you're going to miss the centre. You want to, when you come to centre, it's a bit harder. It's going to take a little bit longer to cook. So you can avoid that hard centre much better. But you see, even though it doesn't look like a lot of cabbage when it's in circular form, you can actually get a lot of cabbage that you're actually cutting up. So that's not too bad. So we can go down here. So for now, let's just put all of that in the bowl. Use a plate for the bacon. That sort of amount, probably, maybe one more. So 4 slices there. Again, don't get too hung up about the exact measurements, things like that. Cooking is about taste and feel. Okay, so once you get your bacon like this, put it all together and kind of cut it into strips. This is where having a sharp knife obviously pays dividends. And then, once you've got it into your strips, if you've got any small bits like that, that's fine. So again, it's not an exact, but you're looking for that kind of size, roughly around that kind of size. Don't worry about getting rid of the fat, because the fat will drain off, will melt down, render down. If you don't want it too fatty, you can always pour that away. But the important thing here is that fat in meat equals flavour. Bacon. So I've got the bacon, the cabbage, just wipe down. Started. Always start with high. You can tell it's ready because if you just pick up a small piece and just, you can hear that. So once that's there, silicone spatula, the most useful tool you'll ever have. Get there down. Now initially it will stick. Don't worry about the sticking, okay? As it sticks, as the heat heats up, it will then release. Just let it do its thing, maybe add a little bit of pepper. If you put the lid on at this point, what it's going to do, it's going to steam the bacon rather than fry the bacon or saute the bacon. The colour on here, it's all kind of lifting off the bottom, no problem now. You can just like this. So those little bits on the bottom, that's fine, that's all flavour, and that will come off when we add a little bit of white wine. And in true Keith Floyd tradition, as I said, this stuff on the bottom of the pan here, this is pure flavour. This will come off. Once we put the wine in, we will then deglaze the pan. And you can hear that change in sound. That's now frying as opposed to the steam coming off. Once we get to that point, that's when we can add some wine in. There is a chance it can catch fire, so don't pour it over with your face in there. But just take a little bit in. See here, I'm just scraping off really bubble. So you can put in the cabbage. just going to put the lid on for a moment. One, it's a bit quieter, but also what it's going to do, that steam will help wilt the cabbage down. And also add, again, a little bit more. Just see. Now, we're not adding any salt at this point because the bacon is quite salty, and so basically we'll adjust the seasoning as we go. So now, as you can see the cabbage has wilted down quite a bit. When you notice there's no liquid in there, that's the time then to add in our chicken stock. Now, obviously, as I said, if you make chicken stock from the carcass, now amount, same again. Add some. Just keep going. Always important to taste. So just taste a bit of the liquid. So season-wise, that's fine for the moment. What's going to happen? That's going to evaporate. So whilst it may be, you know, fine, that seasoning could change. So we'll leave it like that. Got things. So as you can maybe be able to see, they're kind of roasted nicely. What we want now, and it doesn't have to necessarily be one of these, it could just be anything. Keep an eye on things. So what we're doing now, we're just sort of squishing down a bit. I'll give you a better view in a moment. And this is just to kind of make that gratinated effect. But you're just squishing like that. And just grate some parmesan over the top. This. But basically the chicken to cook is going to take 15-20 minutes or so. This is not going to take 15-20 minutes. So I'm just going to place this in the top oven. You can probably see what this is now like. It's become reduced down nicely. And it's kind of got that bacon cabbage. I'm now going to put this into this saucepan because it's a better pan for this. 2 chicken thighs. You're just going to debone the chicken thigh. With a chicken thigh, you put it down, you can feel there's basically the bone, that's the bone there, essentially, okay? So what we do is, with the tip of your knife, just put it down and just kind of roughly cut across the top of the bone. Then, next to the bone, place your knife next to the bone, like this, fingers out of the way, cut slightly, but as you're cutting, push the bone with the knife, essentially like that. Okay, so there's it. So you're just pushing the bone with the knife as you're cutting. Don't lean down too much, otherwise you'll cut through. What you're doing, you're doing a slight cutting motion, and you're just pushing the bone away. And as you do that, what you'll end up with is one pretty clean bone and one chicken thigh with no bone. Now you're going to end up with a few little bits here, so just cut those off. This little sort of sinew piece here, cut that out again. Keep your fingers out of the way. And that's pretty much, and you can feel if there's any hard bits, that is one deboned, well, chicken thigh fillet. So I'm leaving the chicken on, but we want to kind of make it a bit neater. We've got this skin here. Let's just get rid of that. And we've also got the fillet, which is in the middle there, or the tender. That's fine to leave that there. That's fine. Get that set always on a high heat. That's going nicely. Go. Just generously season these. The reason people say, oh, I can never taste like a restaurant, 99% of the time it's because it's not seasoned enough. And loads of it, as I said. So let that do. Again, like before, it will stick initially and then lift once it's gone, caramelising all the colour. So with rosemary, you just have to pull it down the stem. It's very, very young thyme, so it's quite soft. Often you get more woody down the stalks. So if you've got woody stalks, then pull them out. But these are very, very soft. So essentially, and leave all the goodness on the side. So effectively all you want to do is really just kind of chop it. That's probably about it. Okay, and you keep that to one side. Essentially that's what we're looking for. Crispy skin. Now, you may or may not know this cheeky trick, but to get garlic out, rather than peel it, just hit it with your knife, like that. Then it will just naturally just peel easily, no fuss. Obviously if you wanted to slice the garlic, then I'd probably recommend peeling it. So all we need to do is basically chop. If you want to use the other method of chopping, you chop it a little bit more, pinch of salt, like that. With the end the blade, you just basically squish it and then mince it. You're just pushing down. And what you'll notice, the salt helps it, gives it a bit of sort of abrasive, but you end up in about 2 seconds. So, chicken's basically done. Chicken's now just on the side, keeping warm, ready to go. So we've got this, the sauce that is being cooked in, which you probably hopefully can see here. Essentially whack up the heat on that one. What we're going to do now is add some cream and essentially reduce that down. So probably about that much. We just stir that in. Now we can kind of take this to the next level and essentially put this through a sieve to get any bits out. What we want to do is basically keep that in there and pass that through a sieve, just so we don't have any lumps or any pieces in the final sauce. When it comes to the bacon and cabbage, just give it a little taste. Just going to balance it out with a little bit of red wine vinegar on the side of vinegar. Just a few drops in there, and that will just help balance everything out. Basically, just give that. Small amount. And just elevate the flame. And so what we're going to do is essentially just slice this chicken up, which we're going to put on top of the... Just cut it. So a slight angle. So, beautifully gratinated. So I'll plate one up now so you can see. What we're going to get is cabbage. We're looking for some chicken in there. Should be for one of the kids. So basically, and then we have basically gratinated potato parmesan, cabbage sauteed in bacon fat, white wine, chicken stock, chicken with the white wine, chicken stock, and rosemary and thyme, garlic, and a cream sauce. Enjoy.